Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to Swearing In Day 2013. First, want to thank the members for honoring me by electing me as speaker. Again, it is a great honor, and I'm humbled to serve in this chair again. I said to a couple of the guys coming in, I'm glad to be up here. The BS was getting a little thick down on the floor there, listening to all those kind remarks, and I thank the members for them in seriousness. I do appreciate it, but it is humbling. I just wanted to introduce a couple of guests that are with us today. First that was just up at the podium, my wife, Donna Bruder-Smith. Please rise and welcome my wife to the Hall of the House. She doesn't believe anything that was said either about me. There's a couple other people that I want to thank that are with us today. The Legislative Swearing-In Day Committee, which some of you may be aware was a committee we had formed 2 years ago, kind of like an inaugural committee to help defray and pay for some of the costs of the celebratory side of Swearing-In Day. And there's two of the three individuals are with us today, John McNally and Sil Lukowity. Please rise. Thank you for your service. Governor George Leader is the third member, but he was unable to be with us today. But I do want to acknowledge and thank and appreciate his credibility and the good name that he has helped bring to this small committee that we had formed. I want to thank Judge Daly for being here today to swear us in. He kind of got double duty. Not sure what happened to Justice Eakin, but hopefully he's okay. But Judge, very nice of you to be here, and thank you for taking on the double duties today. Also want to recognize a couple other former members that are with us today. Current Philadelphia City Councilman and former Speaker Dennis O'Brien. Denny, please rise. Welcome back to the Hall of the House. And of course, you're aware of Mario Severa from Delaware County, also a county councilman in Delaware County. Thank you again, Mario, for being here. 2 years ago on this occasion, I spoke about the fact that we're one body made up of many parts, from rank and file to floor leaders, from freshmen to chairmen, from research staff to pages. We all have our respective roles to play, each one equally important to the success of the entire body. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the words we use and the meaning of those words that we use. Over the past few weeks, I was reading a book that a good friend gave me a while ago, and I happened to pick it up a month or so ago. It's like 736 pages, so I'm never reading the entire book. I had to skim through parts of it. But this book is entitled Liberty and Freedom. It was written by a man named David Hackett Fischer. And in great part, the book is about the subtle but different meanings, these words, freedom, liberty, that they have. They're emotionally charged, yet common words that we use often. And the book is really about those subtle differences and how they have differed through the years. For instance, in the 1700s, in the Philadelphia and Delaware Valley, liberty was embodied in the nature of the Golden Rule, derived from the inner light given by God to all people. To the Quakers, liberty was a reciprocal liberty, and it was symbolized by the Liberty Bell that was made to ring out so that all people could hear it ring. Not that far away in New York City, always the melting pot of cultural diversity, liberty was more pluralist. Liberty was the autonomy of the different groups that made up New York and the freedom to belong to one. In New England, the Puritan culture of Calvinism and predestination dictated that liberty was a town-born heritage bestowed on those who God had chosen. In the British backwoods country of like Western New York, Western Pennsylvania, Western Virginia, freedom was based on natural law and survival of the fittest. Liberty was personal and it spawned the battle flags with the coiled rattlesnake and the motto, "Don't tread on me." In Virginia, liberty was that of rank and privilege. Here, the Cavaliers believed that liberty was about being free from the tyranny of toil, and freedom was not being subject to another's will. My wife and I recently went to see the movie Lincoln. For all of you, I would recommend it. You'll enjoy it on multiple levels if you haven't seen it. I found it to be a sobering movie about the legislative process surrounding the passage of the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. And it exposed these conflicting views of what liberty and freedom meant, and that had been held for 100 years by our founding fathers through to those current leaders in the 1860s. For Americans of African descent, liberty and freedom meant freedom from bondage. The motto was death or liberty. That was not too far from the beliefs held in ancient Rome, where freedom was an acquired civil right as opposed to a birthright. And liberty meant a degree of separation or independence. In Northern Europe, in that same era, freedom was being united to a family or tribe. The engraving on the ceiling on the back of the hall of the house quotes from the book of John in the Holy Bible. It's a little hard to see from different angles, but if you check it out as you leave, the gist of it, know the truth and the truth will set you free. And even with that well-known phrase, when King James translated the Bible, he used the word free. Yet in the prior versions, in Latin and Greek, the words were eleotros and liber, which meant a release from the bondage of sin. During his life of studying democracy and governments, Alexis de Tocqueville wrote that liberty and freedom are habits of the heart. He called them customs, beliefs, traditions, and folkways of a free people. Today, you can bet 200 years after the founding of this nation, immigrants who are coming to this country today have a differing view of what the meaning of liberty and freedom are, different from the views of our founding father and probably different than some of our views that we may maintain today. Working towards a compromise of ideas and words, customs and beliefs, traditions and folkways, the Quakers of the Delaware Valley, the Puritans of New England, the Cavaliers of Virginia, the Pluralists of New York forged a Constitution that works for us today. Now, as we begin this new session, collectively, we will deliberate on the issues of the day, and we will strive to build a better Pennsylvania. Our words are the bricks and mortar of what we build. Our success will not be measured on the name on the bill. It's not measured by Republican or Democrat labels. And our success should not be measured by the number of laws enacted. To be sure, however, our success will be measured when time and history judge us by the quality and meaning of our words. And when words like liberty and freedom, emotional and central to our actions as they are, when they have such subtle yet different meanings, our real challenge is understanding the words we use and what they mean. Today, may we each commit, as our great but imperfect forefathers did, to build a better Pennsylvania. God bless you all, and Happy New Year.